The year was 79 AD. The Roman Empire was at the height of its power, a sprawling civilization that stretched from the mist of Britain to the sands of Egypt. In the shadow of Mount Vesuvius, the city of Pompeii was a jewel of the Bay of Naples. It was a place of vibrant life, where the wealthy built lavish villas decorated with intricate frescoes and the common people filled the streets with the noise of trade and gossip. But this bustling metropolis was built on the edge of a sleeping giant. For centuries, Vesuvius had remained silent, its slopes covered in fertile vineyards that fed the city. The people of Pompeii had no word for volcano. To them, it was simply a mountain. They did not know that beneath the peaceful green peaks, a massive chamber of magma had been building pressure for generations, waiting for a single point of failure to unleash the breath of hell upon the world. The warning signs began days before the end. Minor tremors shook the earth, drying up the city's wells and causing animals to flee the hillsides. But for the Romans, earthquakes were a common occurrence, a mere annoyance of life in the Mediterranean. They continued their daily routines, baking bread in massive stone ovens, washing clothes in the Falonica, and preparing for the festival of Volcanalia. Life in Pompeii was a symphony of civilization, unaware that the conductor was about to silence the music forever. At approximately noon on August 24th, the summit of Vesuvius finally gave way. With a roar that could be heard for hundreds of miles, the mountain literally exploded, propelling a column of ash, pumice, and superheated gas 20 miles into the stratosphere. The sun was instantly blotted out, plunging the midday city into an unnatural and terrifying darkness. As the volcanic column rose, it began to cool and spread out, forming what historians now call a Plinian eruption. This massive cloud began to rain down billions of tons of pumice stones and ash onto Pompeii. Initially, the danger seemed manageable. People stayed indoors, thinking the storm would pass. But as the hours dragged on, the sheer weight of the falling debris began to crush the roofs of the city's houses. Thousands were trapped inside their own homes, buried under the weight of the mountain. Panic surged through the streets. People fled toward the harbor, clutching their most precious belongings, bags of gold, jewelry, and even household keys. They stumbled through the pitch-black darkness, guided only by the hellish orange glow of the erupting summit and the screams of their neighbors. The air grew thick with sulfurous fumes, making every breath a struggle for survival. But the worst was yet to come. Throughout the night, the column of ash above the volcano became too heavy to sustain itself. It collapsed, sending a series of pyroclastic flows, avalanches of superheated gas and volcanic matter down the slopes of Vesuvius at hundreds of miles per hour. These flows were not just hot, they were lethal, reaching temperatures of over 500 degrees Celsius. When the first surge hit Pompeii, it was instantaneous. There was no time to run, no time to hide. The heat was so intense that it caused immediate thermal shock, killing every living being in its path in a fraction of a second. The city was not just buried, it was flash frozen in a moment of absolute agony. Lovers were caught in their final embrace, mothers shielded their children with their own bodies, and even the dogs of the city were preserved in their final, desperate struggles for air. By the next morning, Pompeii had vanished from the face of the earth. Where once there was a thriving city of 20,000 people, there was now only a vast gray wasteland of volcanic ash. The silence was absolute. For nearly 1700 years, the city lay forgotten, buried deep beneath the soil of Italy. It became a legend, a ghost story whispered by local farmers who occasionally found strange artifacts while digging in the fields. It wasn't until the 18th century that archaeologists finally breached the ash and discovered the perfectly preserved world beneath. What they found was a time capsule of the Roman Empire, a city where time had stopped. The bread was still in the ovens, the graffiti was still on the walls, and the bodies of the victims had left hollow cavities in the hardened ash, allowing researchers to create plaster casts that show the exact facial expressions and poses of the dead in their final seconds. Today, walking through the ruins of Pompeii is like walking through a cemetery of a lost world. It is a haunting reminder of the fragility of human achievement when faced with the raw power of nature. The frescoes are still vibrant, the mosaics still shine, and the cobblestones still bear the ruts of Roman chariot wheels. But the true power of Pompeii lies in the plaster casts, the silent witnesses to the last breath of the Roman Empire. These figures, frozen in their final moments of terror and prayer, bridge the gap of 2 millennia, reminding us that they were people just like us, with hopes, fears, and lives that were snuffed out in a heartbeat. Vesuvius still looms over the ruins today, a silent sentinel that remains one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world. Pompeii serves as a permanent memento mori, a lesson from history that even the greatest empires are but dust in the wind when the earth decides to reclaim its own.